Hey friends, Megan here. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my affiliate Shopify because I love them. And if you're on Etsy, if you're on eBay, you know that those changes that they make, sometimes willy-nilly it feels like, are crazy and they can affect your business like that. So it's time to take control. If you go to meganbrame.com/Shopify, that's my affiliate link where you can get a free trial. You'll see what all the hubbub's about. And really make sure that you are the one who is in control of your business, your sales, your customers, your social, your advertising, your images, your fees, all of that stuff. Take back control of your business. Shopify can help you do it. So give them a try. Free trial at meganbrame.com/Shopify.
It's time to grow your business, stop spinning your wheels, and build the life you deserve. And I'm here to help. My name is Megan Brame. This is Stop Sucking at Business.
Hey friends, Megan Brame here, 5-time award-winning entrepreneur, and I'm here to help you succeed in your business. So thank you for listening to me today. This episode, I want to talk about stories, and not like happy fairy story time or something, but what your story is. And I came up with this because, one, I used to have a terrible story, and two, I ran across someone else's story on Instagram, and I actually wrote to her and I said, you know, you have a really great origin story for your business, and I'm glad that you're expanding on it because I feel like that is what makes a business succeed the most. And, you know, she was very thankful, but it made me realize that not a lot of people seem to talk about that, like what their why is with their business or what their origin story is for their business. And so let's talk about yours today, and let's help figure out what you should be saying and why you should be saying it. To me, the power of an origin story for a business is critical. I think that it's pretty well known that people want to buy from you, not from your company. You know what I mean? Like, people want a person. People feel more connected to a business when it has a face to it. And I think that goes for origin stories too. People want to know why you started this business, what drives you, what makes you want to do what you do. And it's such an easy thing to have, and I think that so many people overlook it. I've seen it. Look, I've been guilty of it too. Just really generic, or like, I want to use eco-friendly things in my life, so I made them. Yeah, that's great, but that's not, to me, that's not interesting. And I think that so many people feel like they need to just like polish what they're about and make people feel like, oh, they understand the PR behind my business and things. And I don't, in my experience, that has never worked out the best. I think that, you know, sometimes you might feel differently, but people are smart, and people are, you know, they're aware of when most of the time they're being, I don't know, talked down to, or they understand when there's a generic aspect instead of a unique aspect, if that makes sense. And I think that, I don't know where we all learned this, to hide our uniqueness, and I was going to say our flaws, but it's, I guess that's one and the same, and maybe not. But do you know what I mean when I say that I think that a lot of us are afraid to pull the curtain back, and that's the most interesting part of a business to me. And I think that in my experience, that's what really turns people into lifers, or your tribe, or your squad, or whatever your group of diehard fans is called. My origin story for my first business was not great. And I think that I didn't know what to say. Also, I had very bad anxiety. So I felt like no matter what I was going to say, it wasn't going to go over well. But I don't know. I feel like it was something that I didn't want to open up about. And not that there was any nefarious things behind my business or my origin story. It was just sort of like, I don't know. I never really felt like it was that I had any passion in my story. And so I just kind of hid it. And consequently, I burned out, right? And I never had my why for that business. And I think that is definitely correlated. So I'm pausing because I'm trying to think of what my origin story was. And I remember the PR friendly part of it was that my cousin was born with some really bad allergies, and we had to learn really quickly about the things we were putting on our body and the things that we were putting in our body. And from there, it just went into skincare for me. That was always big in my family. My mom was huge into skincare, and I started making my own stuff, and that's how my business came to be. But that's not entirely true. It's not a lie exactly, but that wasn't the passion behind my business. My honest origin story of my soap and candle company was that I liked the smells and I liked the scents, and it was fun to make stuff, and I loved playing with the packaging and the designs, and I wanted to run my own business, and it just became a natural fit for me to have all of these beautiful smelling things in my life because they brought me happiness, and I liked having a connection with someone because scent is so profound, right? And it's such a strong sense. It's so tied to memory, and I loved that connection. I loved the connection of having someone smell a bar of soap and just close their eyes and it takes them somewhere. And I made that. How cool is that? Isn't that a great origin story? But I never said it because it felt long and vulnerable, I guess. And I don't know, it felt like that wasn't the right quote unquote thing to say, but it totally was. Can you hear the difference in my voice with it? I think that I can't say for sure. And, my default is I'm actually very grateful for where I am right now, but maybe things would have been different if I had opened up that part of my story to my customer base. I don't know. It all worked out for the best anyways, but to me, that is something that is just so critical and so overlooked. So you have my bad one and you have my better one. For the podcast and the blog and all of that stuff, my origin story is I burned out from my business, and I burned out because I wouldn't give up control. I was too afraid that there wasn't enough money, that there wasn't, no one could do it the way I wanted someone to do it, and I didn't know enough to know, I didn't know enough about accounting or social media or graphic design, so I just kind of learned as I went, and I was too afraid to admit that I didn't know what I didn't know. So I burned out and I closed my business and I walked away. And as I was thinking about, what am I going to be when I grow up now? I started thinking about how, and this is not a humble brag, although it kind of sounds this way, a lot of the people in my industry would come to me when they had questions. And it was my friends, of course, but they were my colleagues. And I've just always felt I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be the person who knew enough about wholesale or packaging or FDA regulations or insurance and things like that. I liked people feeling like they could come to me with questions. And that's when my blog started back up. And that's when I started thinking about, that's what I want. I want to be that person because I like it. I like feeling useful, and I like feeling that I am actually helping someone. And that's my origin story for this. And that's what keeps me going. And, we're talking last episode about, I don't really think I'm the most disciplined person, but when I think about why I do what I do and I think about my story, and I think about maybe even one person listens to this that gets helped, holy shit, I win. You know what I mean? And that's what makes me think, okay, I gotta go record my podcast, and I gotta hire a podcast producer. P.S. Say hello to Peter, everyone. He's my new podcast producer, and I'm so happy he's here. He makes my life 4,000% easier. But back to things. This is why I do what I do, because my origin story to me is the driving force, and it's vulnerable. It talks about me failing, picking myself back up, figuring out what my purpose is in life, and it's compelling. You know, it helps people connect to me, and so that's what I want for you. I want you to take this week, think about what your origin story is for your business, and think about if it's honest and if it's true to what you feel. If it is, that's fantastic. You're amazing. But if you feel like it's lacking a little bit and you feel like you're missing something, that's okay. This is the time. I am giving you permission to think about what it is you're trying to say with your business and with your origin story, and tweak it. Just tweak it a little bit. You can let me know what they are if you want. I would love to read about your origin stories. You can message me on Instagram at Stop Sucking at Business, and I will check it out. But either way, I think that this is something that we should all review occasionally, and just think about if it's still accurate, still on pace with where you are, and if it's changed, what's changed about it, and is it helping you to connect, or is it keeping you away from your fan base? Just some food for thought this week. Hey, later this month, I'm going to do a Q&A. So if you've got any burning questions, or you want me to expand on something I talked about, or you want to know what color my hair is right now, you can DM me at Stop Sucking at Business on Instagram, or shoot me an email, hi@meganbrame.com, and I will get to your question in an upcoming episode. Until next week, my pretty princesses and princes, and all of those in between who are still pretty, I hope you have a fantastic week, and you got this. I'll talk to you later.